Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the trees are bending, the sky is dark, and everything around you is trembling with chaos. Yet there you are, standing still. Your heartbeat is steady, your breath is unshaken, your eyes are calm. The storm rages, but it does not enter you. Do you know what that does to people watching? It unsettles them. It makes them question themselves. It makes them nervous because you are living proof. That inner power does not need noise, and strength does not need display. The world today thrives on noise. Look around you. Everyone is rushing, shouting, complaining, proving, comparing, posting, and fighting. Everyone is eager to show their strength by volume, by aggression, by display. But true strength, true mastery, it whispers. It doesn't need to scream. A calm presence is the loudest roar in a room filled with chaos. When you walk into a space and your energy is unshaken, people feel it. They cannot put it into words, but they sense something different. Because calmness is not weakness. Calmness is controlled fire. Calmness is a mind that has trained itself not to be enslaved by emotion. Calmness is the weapon of those who no longer seek to prove because they already know who they are. Do you understand how rare that is? Most people react immediately to provocation. Someone insults them and they explode. Someone criticizes them and they defend. Someone ignores them and they chase for validation. That is not strength. That is slavery. But when you train yourself to be unmoved, when you train yourself to respond instead of react, when you sit in silence even when you could shout, that is when you terrify people because they realize they cannot control you. To be calm is to be untouchable. When you are calm, the world cannot dictate your mood. They cannot manipulate your reaction. They cannot take your peace unless you give it to them. This is why calmness makes people nervous. They are used to controlling others by pressing buttons. Anger, jealousy, insecurity, fear. But when they press your buttons and nothing happens, they panic. Because they cannot reach you. They cannot access the fortress within you. But this kind of calmness does not come overnight. It is built. It is forged in discipline. It is carved through self-awareness. It is practiced through silence, through patience, through observing yourself before you act. Do you want to be so calm that it makes people nervous? Then you must first face yourself. Ask yourself, what triggers me? What makes me lose control? Where do I hand over my peace to others? Is it when someone mocks me? When someone betrays me? When life does not give me what I want? Every time you explode, every time you get pulled into drama, you are handing over your power. You are saying, here, take control of me. But calmness is the refusal to surrender your power. Calmness says, you can act, you can scream, you can provoke, but I remain the master of myself. Look at nature. The ocean is calm on the surface, but it hides unimaginable depth. The mountain stands silently, yet it has seen centuries pass by. The sky does not rush, yet it embraces the storms and the stars alike. Strength is not in noise. Strength is in stillness. Strength is in presence. And here is the secret. People fear what they cannot read. They fear what they cannot predict. When you are calm, you become unpredictable. When you do not rush to react, they cannot measure you. When you do not defend yourself, they cannot know your weakness. When you do not argue, they cannot find your insecurity. Your calmness confuses them because silence is the language they cannot manipulate. The one who is calm in chaos is the one who has already won, because chaos feeds on energy, drama feeds on attention, anger feeds on reaction. If you do not give them what they want, you starve their control. You remain untouchable. But let me be clear, being calm does not mean being passive. It does not mean you accept disrespect. It does not mean you hide from conflict. It means you choose your battles with wisdom. It means you decide when to act, not when emotion commands you to. It means you carry a sword, but do not swing it unless necessary. That is why calmness is intimidating. It shows that your power is not in others' hands. Think of the martial artist who stands silently before a fight. He does not boast. He does not scream. He simply breathes. His opponent grows nervous because silence reveals certainty. Calmness reveals control, and control wins battles before they begin, you see? Most people live as slaves to reaction, but the calm one has stepped out of that cage. The calm one has found freedom in mastery. And that is why calmness is the greatest form of rebellion in a world addicted to noise. Now ask yourself, how do you cultivate this calm? The answer is simple yet difficult. You must train daily. You must learn to observe your thoughts without acting on them. You must practice breathing when your chest tightens. You must learn to walk away when provoked. You must practice silence when tempted to argue. You must remind yourself again and again, control is more powerful than reaction. Every morning, sit in stillness. Breathe. Remind yourself, today nothing outside of me will control me. Throughout the day, when someone provokes you, see it as training. They are not your enemy. They are your teacher. They reveal where your calmness still breaks. Instead of exploding, observe yourself. Ask, why did this shake me? And in that moment of awareness, you grow stronger. Do this every day, and soon your presence will change. People will notice something about you. They will feel uneasy when you do not respond like everyone else. They will feel unsettled when you smile instead of argue. They will grow nervous when their attempts to break you fail. That is when you know you have become untouchable. When you begin to embody calmness, people will test you. Do not be surprised. They will poke, they will prod, they will try to draw you into their storm, because your calmness reminds them of what they do not have. It forces them to face their own restlessness, their own insecurity, their own lack of control. And instead of admiring you, some will want to break you. But remember, when the wind tries to break the mountain, it only reveals the mountain's strength. Do not confuse their discomfort for your weakness. Their nervousness is not your failure. It is proof that you are mastering yourself. The truth is, people fear what they cannot control, and calmness cannot be controlled. That is why tyrants fear the silent. That is why aggressors fear the still, because silence is not submission, it is strategy. Imagine two men standing in conflict. One is red with rage, veins bulging, fists trembling, shouting insults. The other stands with his hands behind his back, eyes steady, breathing slow. Tell me, who truly holds the power? The one shouting is revealing his lack of control. He has already lost. The calm one has not even moved, yet the battle is already tilting in his favor. This is why ancient warriors trained not only their body, but their breath, their silence, their stillness, because the one who can stay calm in the face of chaos holds a weapon far sharper than the sword. But let me bring this closer to you. Think about your own life. How many times have you lost your peace because of small things? Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly your mood is destroyed. A colleague makes a rude comment and you carry anger for hours. A family member disrespects you and you lose sleep replaying it in your mind. These moments steal your power, but they only steal it because you allow them to. Imagine instead if you smiled when someone tried to provoke you. Imagine if you breathed and let it go when someone disrespected you. Imagine if you stayed calm when others expected you to explode. Do you see the freedom in that? That is the freedom calmness gives. Calmness is not only for the battlefield, not only for great challenges. It is for the small daily moments. It is for every time you are tempted to let the outside world dictate your inner state. The real war is not against other people. It is against yourself. It is against the urge to react. It is against the ego that wants to prove itself. It is against the voice inside that says, show them your anger so they know you are strong. No, true strength does not need to be shown. It needs to be lived. The calm person does not need to explain himself. The calm person does not need to argue to prove his point. The calm person does not need to shout to be heard. His silence speaks louder. His presence demands respect without asking for it. Do not think this path is easy. It will test you again and again. People will misunderstand your calmness as weakness. They will say, why don't you fight back? Why don't you prove yourself? Why don't you show your anger? And you will feel the urge to defend yourself. But remember, lions do not concern themselves with the barking of dogs. The ocean does not explain itself to the river. The sky does not argue with the clouds. You are here to master yourself, not to convince others. Let them misunderstand you. Let them underestimate you. Calmness is not for their approval. It is for your freedom. And here is a deeper truth: calmness is contagious. Just as anger spreads quickly, so does peace. When you remain calm in the middle of conflict, others around you begin to feel it. When you breathe instead of panic, others follow your rhythm. When you do not raise your voice, others lower theirs. You become a living reminder that another way is possible. You become the stillness in the storm. But never forget, calmness without conviction is emptiness. You must ground your calmness in purpose. Ask yourself, why do I want to be calm? Not just to make people nervous, not just to intimidate them, but because calmness allows you to think clearly. Calmness allows you to act wisely. Calmness allows you to live without chains. Calmness gives you mastery over the one kingdom that truly matters, yourself. Let me tell you a story. A student once asked his master, "Why is it that you never get angry? People insult you, they try to provoke you, but you stay calm. Why?" The master smiled and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The student replied, to the one who tried to give it. The master said, "Exactly. Anger, insult, disrespect. They are gifts I do not accept. They return to the sender." This is the essence of calmness. When people throw their negativity at you, you do not have to receive it. Leave it with them. Walk away free. Do you see the power in this? Every insult that fails to enter you returns to its source. Every provocation that does not move you loses its strength. Every attempt to break you becomes proof of your unshakable presence. But the path requires discipline. It requires training. You must practice daily in small ways. When someone interrupts you, do not rush to defend yourself. When someone ignores you, do not chase for attention. When life delays your plans, do not grow restless. These are your opportunities. These are your moments to train calmness. And over time, you will notice something powerful. You are no longer a slave to emotion. You are no longer shaken by the world. You have become a fortress of peace. And that fortress makes people nervous because they cannot climb its walls. They cannot break its gates. They cannot steal what is inside. They stand outside, shouting, raging, mocking, but you remain still. And stillness terrifies those who thrive on chaos. There will come a day when your calmness will be tested at its highest level. It might be when you lose someone you love. It might be when you face betrayal from those you trusted most. It might be when your plans collapse, when your dreams are delayed, when life hands you pain so sharp it cuts to the bone. In those moments, you will be tempted to collapse, to rage, to cry out at the unfairness of it all. But if you can remain calm in those moments, if you can breathe, if you can ground yourself, if you can stand still even when your world shakes, you will discover a power within you that is unbreakable. This is why calmness is not just a tactic, it is a lifestyle. It is not just about silencing your anger in front of others. It is about training your soul to trust, to endure, to remain steady when everything else is trembling. The calm one is not blind to pain, not immune to suffering. The calm one simply refuses to be destroyed by it. Calmness is resilience made visible. Think of a candle flame in a dark room. When the door opens and the wind rushes in, the weak flame flickers and dies. But a strong flame bends, trembles for a moment, then straightens itself again. That is calmness. It is not the absence of disturbance. It is the refusal to be extinguished by it. And here is something many do not understand. Calmness is not about suppression. Suppression is when you bury your anger, hide your pain, pretend you are unshaken. That is not calmness, that is denial. True calmness is awareness. You feel the anger rising, but you do not let it control you. You feel this sadness in your chest, but you do not drown in it. You feel the provocation, but you smile at it like an old friend who has no power over you anymore. Calmness is not ignoring your emotions, it is mastering them. Let me give you another story. A warrior once entered the court of a king known for his temper. The king, seeking to test the warrior, insulted him in front of the crowd, mocked his clothing, laughed at his silence. The warrior remained calm, bowed, and did not reply. Later, someone asked him, "Why did you let the king insult you without defending yourself?" The warrior replied, "If a man spits at the sky, The spit does not reach the sky. It only falls back on his own face. Why should I lower myself to catch what does not belong to me? This is the wisdom of calmness. You do not lower yourself to catch every insult. You do not bend down to pick up every stone thrown your way. You walk above it. And when you walk above it, people who throw stones grow nervous because they realize you cannot be dragged into the mud. Do you know the greatest form of intimidation? It is not muscles, it is not weapons, it is not money, it is not status. The greatest form of intimidation is a person who cannot be provoked, a person who remains calm when others rage, a person who smiles when others attack, a person who looks into chaos and says, "You cannot touch me." That kind of calmness is rare, and that rarity makes it powerful. But let me bring this to your daily life again. Think about the workplace. Most people are anxious, rushing to meet deadlines, panicking over small mistakes, gossiping about others. If you remain calm in that environment, if you breathe, if you keep your composure, if you do your work without drama, you will stand out, you will be respected. Your presence will make others nervous, not because you are aggressive, but because you reveal what they lack. They will whisper, "Why doesn't he panic like us? Why doesn't she gossip like us? Why doesn't he react when criticized?" And that quiet nervousness is the echo of your calm power. Or think about relationships. Arguments between partners often spiral because both people feed the fire. One shouts, the other shouts louder. One insults, the other defends. But imagine if one person remained calm. Imagine if instead of shouting, you listened. Instead of reacting, you breathed. Instead of defending, you simply smiled and said, "I will not fight you." Do you see what happens? The fire has nothing to feed on. Your calmness diffuses the chaos. That calmness is strength, not weakness. And in society at large, calmness is revolutionary. The world is addicted to outrage. Everyone is quick to judge, quick to condemn, quick to attack. Social media thrives on anger, division, and constant noise. But if you remain calm in this storm, if you do not let the noise dictate your peace, you will shine like a lighthouse in the night. And lighthouses make sailors nervous, not because they are dangerous, but because they reveal the rocks hidden beneath the surface. Your calmness reveals the truth others are trying to escape. Calmness is also the root of clarity. When you are calm, you see solutions others miss. When you are calm, you make decisions without regret. When you are calm, you hear the voice of wisdom in the silence. Have you ever noticed that in panic, you make mistakes, but in calmness, you see clearly? This is why the greatest leaders were calm, not because they never felt fear, but because they did not allow fear to control their decisions. So let me ask you, what is controlling your decisions? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it the need to prove yourself? Or is it calmness? If you want to live a life of mastery, you must choose calmness as your foundation, because every other foundation, anger, pride, fear, will crumble when tested. Only calmness remains. Now I want you to picture yourself years from now. Picture yourself walking into a room filled with noise, gossip, conflict. And yet, when you enter, people lower their voices. They straighten their backs. They feel your presence without you saying a word. Why? Because your calmness speaks. Your calmness carries weight. Your calmness makes them nervous, not because you are threatening, but because you are untouchable. That is the kind of power you must build, and do not think this is beyond you. It is within your reach. But it requires training. Just as the body must be trained in discipline, the mind must be trained in calmness. Every day is your dojo. Every provocation is your sparring partner. Every insult is your training weight. Do not waste these opportunities. When someone disrespects you, practice calmness. When someone ignores you, practice calmness. When someone betrays you, practice calmness. Each moment you remain unmoved, you grow stronger. Each storm you endure without losing yourself builds your fortress higher. And soon you will look back and realize the things that once controlled you no longer move you. The insults that once broke you now roll off you like rain on stone. The chaos that once drowned you now feels like waves breaking at your feet. And in that moment, you will smile, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. Because you will know you have become so calm, it makes people nervous. There will come a moment when your silence will speak louder than 1,000 arguments. People will expect you to fight back, to defend yourself, to justify your choices. But you will not. And in that silence, they will feel the weight of your calmness against their chaos. That weight will unsettle them because silence exposes noise. Calmness exposes weakness. Stillness exposes restlessness. Many fear calmness because it holds up a mirror. When you are calm, you reveal the storm in others. They cannot hide it anymore. Your presence becomes a reflection of what they lack, and that reflection makes them nervous because deep down they wish they had what you carry. But let me remind you, calmness is not arrogance. It is not about standing above others with pride. It is about standing within yourself with strength. It is about walking through the fire without letting it burn your soul. It is about embracing storms without losing your ground. Calmness is humility in action. Because you no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. Think about history's greatest figures. The generals who led armies. The monks who endured persecution. The thinkers who challenged empires. What made them powerful was not only their words, not only their strategies, but their presence, their calmness in the face of danger, their refusal to let fear control them, their steady eyes when others trembled. That is what gave them influence. That is what gave them respect. And so it is with you. If you want to influence others, do not shout louder. Do not argue harder. Do not scramble for attention. Instead, master your calmness. Become the one who does not flinch. Become the one who does not lose control. Become the one who remains steady when all others collapse. That is the person others will follow. That is the person others will respect. That is the person who changes the atmosphere without speaking a word. Calmness is not given to you. Calmness is built. It is built every time you refuse to take the bait of provocation. It is built every time you let an insult slide past you. It is built every time you breathe instead of explode. It is built every time you choose patience over pride. Each small decision is a brick, and one day you will stand inside the fortress you built, unreachable, unshakable, untouchable. Do not be deceived by the world's obsession with noise. People think that strength is in aggression. They think that respect is won through intimidation. But intimidation fades, aggression burns out, noise loses its power. Only calmness remains. Calmness is the quiet river that carves valleys through stone. Calmness is the wind that shapes mountains over centuries. Calmness is the foundation no storm can destroy. And here is the paradox: the calmer you are, the more powerful you appear. The quieter you are, the more people lean in to listen. The stiller you are, the more others adjust themselves in your presence. Why? Because calmness carries an aura of mastery. It whispers, I am not moved by your noise. I am not controlled by your chaos. I am not shaped by your opinion. That aura makes people nervous because they realize you operate on a level beyond their control. So practice calmness, not just for yourself, but for the effect it has on the world. Be the calm in your family when arguments arise. Be the calm in your workplace when pressure mounts. Be the calm among friends when conflict erupts. Be the calm in society when panic spreads. In every storm, be the lighthouse. In every fire, be the water. In every chaos, be the stillness. And do not underestimate the power of calmness in times of conflict. A calm negotiator ends wars. A calm leader prevents disasters. A calm parent raises steady children. A calm friend heals wounded hearts. Calmness is not passive. It is active strength. It is the ability to absorb chaos and transform it into peace. That is why it makes people nervous. They cannot understand how you can stand still while everything around you shakes. The truth is, the world does not need more noise. The world does not need more people shouting, proving, fighting. The world needs examples of calmness. The world needs people who can walk into storms and remain still. The world needs people who can hear insults and remain kind. The world needs people who can endure suffering without losing hope. The world needs people who can be so calm it makes others nervous, because that nervousness awakens them. It reminds them of a deeper strength they too can find. Do not wait for calmness to arrive by chance. Train it. Train it in the morning when you rise. Train it in the afternoon when challenges press you. Train it at night when your thoughts want to disturb your rest. Make calmness your daily discipline, your constant practice, your silent prayer. Every day remind yourself, I will not be moved by noise. I will not be enslaved by reaction. I will not surrender my peace to anyone. And over time, you will become unrecognizable. The old you, the restless, the reactive, the provoked, will be gone. A new you will stand in its place. A you that is steady, a you that is strong, a you that is untouchable. People will see the change. They will sense it. And yes, they will grow nervous. Because calmness is rare. Calmness is power. Calmness is mastery. Every person you meet is carrying a storm within them. Some storms are small, like a breeze of irritation. Others are hurricanes of anger, insecurity, and pain. When you encounter these storms, you have two choices. You can step into their chaos and let it sweep you away, or you can remain anchored in your own calmness. If you choose the first, you will be tossed around, drained, broken. If you choose the second, you become the rock against which their storm crashes and breaks. This is why your calmness unsettles people. They expect you to react. They expect you to fight fire with fire. They expect you to mirror their chaos. But when you don't, when you stand in silence, when you breathe instead of burn, you expose the emptiness of their storm. Suddenly, they are no longer battling you, they are battling themselves. Do you see how powerful that is? Calmness forces people to confront their own reflection. It says, I will not carry your anger for you. I will not mirror your pain for you. I will not let your storm live inside me. That kind of strength confuses them because most of their lives have been built on the ability to provoke others. When they cannot provoke you, they lose their power. But make no mistake, calmness is not about standing still while life passes you by. It is about moving with precision. It is about speaking only when your words matter. It is about acting only when your action is effective. Calmness sharpens your timing. Calmness makes your every move deliberate, and deliberate actions born from stillness are unstoppable. Consider the archer. If his hand trembles, the arrow misses. If his mind is restless, his aim falters. Only in stillness can he release the arrow with precision. Life is the same. Without calmness, your decisions are scattered. With calmness, your direction is exact. People will see your accuracy. They will see your composure. And yes, it will make them nervous because most people live in scattered chaos while you move like a focused arrow. Think of the great chess masters. They do not slam their pieces on the board. They do not rush their moves. They sit in calm silence, seeing not just the next move, but 10 moves ahead. Their calmness is strategy. Their calmness is foresight. Their calmness is victory long before the final piece falls. Do you understand? Calmness is foresight. Calmness is vision. Calmness is control over time itself. And when you embody this, your life begins to change in ways you cannot imagine. Opportunities flow to the calm because leaders seek those who remain steady under pressure. Trust is given to the calm because people rely on those who do not collapse in crisis. Respect follows the calm because silence carries more weight than shouting ever could. Calmness opens doors that anger keeps locked. But let me remind you, calmness is not the absence of passion. Do not mistake it for coldness or indifference. The calmest river can power a city with its flow. The calmest flame can melt the strongest metal. Calmness is not emptiness, it is contained fire. It is restrained strength. It is the discipline to hold back when the world dares you to lose yourself. That is what makes it powerful. And yes, it will make people nervous because the calm person is unreadable. They do not know what you are thinking. They do not know when you will act. They do not know what your silence hides. That mystery unsettles them because they are used to people showing all their cards in moments of rage. But you reveal nothing. You are calm. You are steady. You are untouchable. So train yourself every day in small ways. When someone interrupts you, breathe before you respond. When you feel the urge to defend yourself, ask, do I need to? When anger rises, smile at it as if it were a child throwing a tantrum. When fear whispers in your ear, sit in stillness and remind yourself, this too shall pass. These small moments forge your calmness, and over time, They will make you unshakable. And when you finally reach that point, when you can stand in storms and remain steady, when you can face insults without losing dignity, when you can endure betrayal without collapsing, you will understand why calmness is the greatest form of strength, because then nothing outside of you will control you. You will be free. You will be whole. You will be so calm it makes people nervous. Every person you meet is carrying a storm within them. Some storms are small, like a breeze of irritation. Others are hurricanes of anger, insecurity, and pain. When you encounter these storms, you have two choices. You can step into their chaos and let it sweep you away, or you can remain anchored in your own calmness. If you choose the first, you will be tossed around, drained, broken. If you choose the second, you become the rock against which the storm crashes and breaks. This is why your calmness unsettles people. They expect you to react. They expect you to fight fire with fire. They expect you to mirror their chaos. But when you don't, when you stand in silence, when you breathe instead of burn, you expose the emptiness of their storm. Suddenly, they are no longer battling you. They are battling themselves. Do you see how powerful that is? Calmness forces people to confront their own reflection. It says, I will not carry your anger for you. I will not mirror your pain for you. I will not let your storm live inside me. That kind of strength confuses them, because most of their lives have been built on the ability to provoke others. When they cannot provoke you, they lose their power. But make no mistake, calmness is not about standing still while life passes you by. It is about moving with precision. It is about speaking only when your words matter. It is about acting only when your action is effective. Calmness sharpens your timing. Calmness makes your every move deliberate. And deliberate actions born from stillness are unstoppable. Consider the archer. If his hand trembles, the arrow misses. If his mind is restless, his aim falters. Only in stillness can he release the arrow with precision. Life is the same. Without calmness, your decisions are scattered. With calmness, your direction is exact. People will see your accuracy. They will see your composure. And yes, it will make them nervous, because most people live in scattered chaos while you move like a focused arrow. Think of the great chess masters. They do not slam their pieces on the board. They do not rush their moves. They sit in calm silence, seeing not just the next move, but 10 moves ahead. Their calmness is strategy. Their calmness is foresight. Their calmness is victory long before the final piece falls. Do you understand? Calmness is foresight. Calmness is vision. Calmness is control over time itself. And when you embody this, your life begins to change in ways you cannot imagine. Opportunities flow to the calm because leaders seek those who remain steady under pressure. Trust is given to the calm because people rely on those who do not collapse in crisis. Respect follows the calm because silence carries more weight than shouting ever could. Calmness opens doors that anger keeps locked. But let me remind you, calmness is not the absence of passion. Do not mistake it for coldness or indifference. The calmest river can power a city with its flow. The calmest flame can melt the strongest metal. Calmness is not emptiness, it is contained fire. It is restrained strength. It is the discipline to hold back when the world dares you to lose yourself. That is what makes it powerful. And yes, it will make people nervous because the calm person is unreadable. They do not know what you are thinking. They do not know when you will act. They do not know what your silence hides. That mystery unsettles them because they are used to people showing all their cards in moments of rage. But you reveal nothing. You are calm. You are steady. You are untouchable. So train yourself every day in small ways. When someone interrupts you, breathe before you respond. When you feel the urge to defend yourself, ask, do I need to? When anger rises, smile at it as if it were a child throwing a tantrum. When fear whispers in your ear, sit in stillness and remind yourself, this too shall pass. These small moments forge your calmness, and over time, they will make you unshakable. And when you finally reach that point, when you can stand in storms and remain steady, when you can face insults without losing dignity, when you can endure betrayal without collapsing, you will understand why calmness is the greatest form of strength. Because then, nothing outside of you will control you. You will be free. You will be whole. You will be so calm it makes people nervous.